Alright, so we're back on the 64 Mercury Comet, and we've got a major component to help make this car come back to life. I bought a used gas tank. So, let me bring you in here a little closer. I'll show you why we had to buy a gas tank. If you've missed that video, we talked about it before, and show you what we got going on with this used tank and what we're going to have to do to try to make it serviceable. Alright, well this is the tank that came out of the car, and I did not realize it was in this condition. I expected rust, but when I got the tank out, as you can see, it's rotten. I don't think there's really any fixing this tank. You can just take it, dissolve. It's dissolving before my very eyes. So I went on the hunt for another tank. But you got to keep in mind, on a 64 Mercury Comet, this is the only tank design that will fit this car. If it was a Mustang, or if it was a Falcon, or if it was anything else, they have tanks that fit several different models of car. And they use basically the same opening for the trunk floor pan so that different tanks would work in those other cars. For some reason, the Mercury Comet, this is the only one. So that makes this tank very expensive to have to buy. And for those of you who may not realize this, and may not know, but trunk bottom, trunk floor is actually the top of the gas tank. If you're not familiar with how old Fords were built. So I bought this tank used out of Colorado. Guy on Facebook on one of the Mercury Comet pages advertises parts for sale, and he had this tank. It does have varnish in it. It does look like it's going to be somewhat of a project to get cleaned up, but pricing this tank new is upwards of $500. That's not getting, and I don't know that that's getting it shipped here. That was just the tank. I don't know what the shipping would be. I paid $114 to have this tank shipped from Colorado, and paid the guy $175 for the tank. Yeah, it's a little pricey for a varnished up tank, but can I save a couple $100? That's the goal. So we're here today to try to see what we're going to do to clean it up. I have the fuel sending unit out of it, and made me a little soak pan. I am going to try. I've used MEK in the past, but apparently my Ace Hardware doesn't carry MEK. They carry MEK substitute. I don't know if it's as good as the old MEK used to be. I do know this. You got to be careful with that stuff. MEK is strong. So we're going to give this MEK substitute a go. Yesterday I went to Ace Hardware and I paid $42 for a gallon of this stuff. And I just hope it's enough to clean this tank. Or that it will even clean this tank. We're going to try it on some varnish that is on this sending unit and see if it begins to dissolve. So let's take a look and see what happens. Alright, so we got it open. So just pour it in here. Pour it over it. Ooh. And instantly, it looks like it's beginning to wash stuff off of it. And I don't know if this MEK will hurt this sending unit or not. I certainly hope not. Loud, I know that. right, so we have spent a little time cleaning on the pickup. Got some show and tell. That is what's left of the sock. Sock started coming apart. I knew that it probably wasn't going to be in a real good condition and was going to come apart. But I went ahead and pulled it off, and you can see down inside there, it's a big old chunk of that varnished fuel. Well, from about here to here on this sending unit was completely plugged, and it was getting to be like coal. It was really hard. I had to take a screwdriver and start breaking it apart, and I was able to get to about here with a long screwdriver, but I couldn't get into this crook here, into this bend here, and this bend couldn't get anything. You don't have anything to go past that. So I said, what have I got? So I have a whole spool of this, and you really should have some around in the shop, and you should have some in your toolbox for your emergency kit in your vehicle. This is mechanics wire. You can hold up exhaust, you can tie things back on. I've even seen this stuff used as a hose clamp. Well, in this case, I started working this wire down inside and breaking the plug away. Okay, and I worked it from both sides, flexible. It's just mechanics wire. It's pretty tough. And I took, I don't have it laying there. It is just some good old-fashioned Walmart brand brake clean, and I'd stick the wire down in there and I'd work it, and I'd stick the wire down in there and I'd work it, and eventually I got the wire to pass all the way through. And once the wire passed all the way through, I just kept working it back and forth and spraying it, working it and spraying it, and then ooh, thunder. Feel a cool breeze. We may be moving in of doors. But anyway, now it's time. We're going to stick this back in here, and I think I've got it freed up. I still have yet to check to see if the cinder portion of it will work. I hope so, but I would rather use this fuel sending unit because it appears to be that it has a factory number stamped on it, that it is probably an OEM piece. And with the state of parts the way they are today, I'll take OEM over this aftermarket junk we've got right now any day of the week. So let's get this dropped back down in here. It's got a couple of ears to help it clock where it goes, the right direction. Get the lock ring put on. This one's pretty easy. Just take a pair of channel locks and lock the lock ring, because I'm about to take, there we go. Got that locked back in with the gasket in place. But I'm about to take and fill this tank. Well, not fill it, but I'm going to add about a gallon of this MEK. So let me show you what it did just coming from the sending unit. You can see that fluid or not. Let me get around here with the camera. Fluid, of course, was crystal clear when it came out of the jug, and that is just the sending unit. Yeah, it's an MEK substitute, but it does appear that it's cleaning this varnish up. So let me get set up, and we're gonna get this tank filled up and ready to rock. All right, well, we went and got us got my funnel, and well, I try not to spill it anyway. We'll hang on to that jug so we can put the waste back in it. First thing we put in was the MEK. Now we're going to put in an old chain. I went to the hardware store and I bought a 2-inch rubber cap to put over this side. Now I'm gonna tighten the clamp up. It came with a clamp and a rubber, like I said, the rubber plug. So hopefully we don't let that stuff evaporate or leak out when I'm sliding it around. Just hope the chain doesn't get hung on my sending unit and mess it up. One other trick that I've learned over the years that works pretty good, a little noisy, but quite effective, is take and strap a cheap palm sander to your gas tank or whatever you're trying to clean up. The vibrations work really well and to break that crap up that's in this tank. So turn it on and leave it on for about an hour. Alright, well, I had to drag it inside. We've had some weather in the area and it's been going about an hour. So let me get set up here and we'll see if we can take a peek inside the tank, see how it looks, if we've made any improvement. This may be difficult to get on camera, but we're going to give it our best shot. Yeah, there's still some goop in there, but look at that shininess. Yeah, it's kind of difficult to get on camera, but that is really starting to wash off quite well. Well, one little spot right there has shown its head, and it looks like I've got a pinhole rust on this would be the top of the gas tank, or like I said earlier, that is the floor of the trunk. And there's a little pinhole right there. What I do about it, I don't know just yet. Probably going to end up trying to find either some marine tex, or I don't know if you know what that product is, but that will seal a gas tank right now. Or if I'm just going to clean it up real good, shove a little JB weld in it, and call it a day. This tank is real easy to get in and out, and I can always go back later, take it to a radiator shop, and have them fix it. And I may go ahead and just very well do that. Just go ahead and have them give it a quick wash, because I think I've got about 90% or so of the stuff out of it. I have access at work to a heated pressure washer that I can clean it out real good. But yeah, I think we can make this a serviceable tank. Yeah, afternoon thunderstorms have rolled in, and I have moved inside the shop to do this process. But we're done for the day. And while we're deciding on what we want to do with this here gas tank, why don't you go on and watch another video coming on the screen right now.